thanks for joining us for your daily dose of the sauce. I'm Nat.
And I'm Jack. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Let's have a look at what's coming up.
From sauce to plate, we're talking allotments with Lia today, spending some time digging into the history of her Horfield allotment.
And I'll be teaching you how to make the perfect fish and chips, or where to buy them at least.
Then we have the brilliant Becky Walsh with her life hacks. She's been out and about around town solving your life problems with a piece of chalk. Or was it a piece of cake?
Talking of cake, later in the show, we've got our midweek munch-off with Tara's Table. Well, it looks like tonight's show is going to be a fun one.
Yes, it does. Now, for all you gardeners out there, we're going to go and pay Lia a visit now in her allotment. She's going to be digging into the history of her Horfield allotment.
I'm very interested in the history of allotments and about how we have sort of, as a people, lost our access to land over the years. Allotments are really kind of the last little scraps of land that we've got from what was once access to huge areas of Britain. The common man was able to farm strips of land which were communally ran and had access to woodland where you could forage and pastures where you could graze your animals, and all of that was lost, and actually allotments kind of sprang from that moment. And I kind of want to go back through time and find out who were the people that actually dug this soil before I did, and just give this little humble plot of land a kind of the dignity of researching it and finding out what's happened here. That's my current little project, and how I'm kind of lavishing my love for this plot upon it.
Have you found any little golden nuggets?
Well, I have. Let me show you what I've got. I've got here a copy of our tithe maps. Our tithe maps were made all over the country. Everyone should be able to track down their local tithe map. What they really wanted to do is to find out exactly how big land was and who had what. So I get my bearings by the church, which is over there, and this is the local Horfield Common, and then this here, this little lane here, is this lane that runs along the top here, which is a beautiful old lane, which now right in the sort of central Bristol. It's got all sorts of names. Donkey Lane, I'm not quite sure why that is. Dead Man's Lane it's called, and that was because it used to be the road that was used to carry people to the church over here, but it's still known now, even now, as Dead Man's Lane. So this is my field, and it's called Hither Gaskins, and rather than it being a name of a person, Gaskin, they think that that meant grass enclosure, which kind of gives you an idea of what this field would have been. It would have been a grass enclosure. And what I find really interesting about looking at this map is kind of how little there is here. And a local historian was saying to me, well, it's because the ground wasn't actually very good. The local name for the area is Horfield, which actually means muddy field. So the ground was considered really awful, wasn't particularly worth growing vegetables in. There wasn't a large population that gathered around it because of that. And it was actually, you can see how high up we are here, which is actually one of the highest points in Bristol. And she said to me that it would have been kind of like hill farming country. And I said, oh, it sounds like a really awful place to put allotments. And she went, yeah, it is. But I think that's quite interesting in itself, because actually allotments were pretty much all built on scraps of land that were considered fairly useless for any other reason. And actually what allotments show everywhere is that you take these useless little scraps of land and you give them to individual people, and they compost and they manure and they turn them into something that's actually really worth something and really special.
Now, we all know Britain is known for a good old fish and chip shop, but how do you get rated in the top 20 in the whole of the UK? Well, Nick at Bishopston's Fish and Chip Shop knows exactly how.
We all know fish and chips here in the UK is quite a big deal, but Bishopston's Fish Bar here on Gloucester Road in Bristol seems to be a bit better than the rest. So let's find out why. first things first, how did you become in the top 20 of the UK 2 years running?
Hard work. I'm here every single day. Every single morning I come in, you know, I don't work every single night, but I'm here every single day making sure everything is spot on. You know, everything. The oil's got to be spot on, the batter's got to be made perfectly, make sure that the fish is, make sure number one we've got enough fish, get it all cut to the exact proper size, just making sure I'm here.
You said the batter has to be on point. What do you think really makes a good batter?
Well, all chip shops have got their own little secrets. Mine is I make it literally half an hour before we actually use it.
Where do you get your fish from? How do you decide?
Everything comes from Iceland.
Iceland.
And that's not the shop, all right? You think where Iceland is, think of where the country is.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by ice cold sea. There's no pollution there. There's no ferries or ships dumping all their rubbish. It's clean, it's cold. The fish, you know, I can see fish that's been delivered from other countries, from other oceans, and it's never the same as Icelandic fish. I personally, I would never buy anything else but Icelandic fish, and I'll pay extra for it. I don't mind paying extra for it. But then that's what gets us the awards.
What do you think draws people to fish and chips? Obviously, it's such a big thing in the UK. Why do you think that is?
The amount of people that, you know, they just want a traditional meal. And yes, everybody wants their curries, their Indian and all that, but there's so many, even the young generation, I've noticed it in the past 5 years, the younger generation, they want fish and chips. And if it's good fish and chips, they pay for it.
So also, with your chips, why do you think they're so great themselves?
Because we do proper chips. In other words, like I said to you, I come here every single morning. Every single morning, those chips are spuds. They get peeled and chipped every single morning, and that's what I mean. That was, you know, about 2 hours ago. That was a spud. Do you see what I mean? Every single day that's done. We don't buy these frozen stuff. We don't buy fries. We do it's the old-fashioned way, where they're peeled and chipped every single morning. We're not cutting corners. We're not cheating. We're not buying frozen chips and just cutting the bag and pouring them in.
Finally, any secrets you have to share with us?
Secret? I can't. Myself, I think the oil is the most important. Oil is the most important. Mine gets filtered every single day, and then every other day I change it. In fact, I changed it today, and I can show you, give you an example. All right.
Come around.
Right. I'm going to put some oil on there. Look how clean the oil is.
Transparent. That's very clean
That's
oil.
Clean oil. Okay. Now that, you know, by tomorrow that will be filtered. Whatever's left, I mean, hopefully if I'm on a busy night, there won't be much left. I'll remove that, recycle it. That's the good thing now is we get paid to have our oil recycled. Whereas years ago, you just had to literally, throw it away. It gets recycled, and in there that will be full of clean oil again for tomorrow night, and the same again for Saturday night.
Amazing.
But that's my little. It is the oil.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
No worries.
Yeah.
Take a seat and I'm going to feed you right up, guys.
Cheers, thanks. There we go, guys. Fish from Iceland, clean oil, proper chips, the old-fashioned way. That's how it's done, and that's how you win the awards. Thank you very much. Cheers. So there we have it, guys. I've been Jack Maynard here at Bishopston's Fish Bar.
He still smells a little bit. No, doesn't he? He smells lovely. Smells lovely. Did you enjoy that?
I did. It was really fun, and it was amazing.
I got to eat fish and chips afterwards too.
So did I.
Yeah, we all did. Now that's it for part 1 of today's show. Join us after the break when you can learn how to cook a delicious 20-minute meal, and also Becky will be here with her brilliant life hacks. See you then.